No. How you doing, friends?
Good morning.
Hold on, let me move this so you're a little in here and I'm a little less, like,
taking over.
Crotch shot for your morning. Thanks for hanging out with us, team. We are here in, what is the name of this park? Bird Park. In lovely North Park, San Diego, California. If for some weird reason you're in the area, you should come hang out with us. But we're gonna talk a little bit about breath work here. We're gonna walk through 10 minutes of this thing, and hopefully everyone has set up a, hi Molly.
Hey Molly.
Hopefully everyone has set a calendar meeting in their Outlook and has told their boss that whatever meeting that they were going to go add stress to their life, they're not going to anymore, and now you're gonna go get a little mindful and hang out with us, learn how to breathe a little bit, kind of hear our stories about why we are doing this, how we've been on this process.
This is Magnus. He's the best breather of all of us.
Yeah, of all of the people that breathe, he's a savage. He's got the big belly breath. He's got, it's just the way we're supposed to be doing it before we added all this stress to our life and sat all day and got in this like frightened cat position and all these pieces. So, you want to get this thing rolling?
Yeah.
Magnus, you gonna be good today, bud?
Of
course he is. He's a savage. So 2 years ago now, I actually hit the 2-year anniversary. It popped up on my thing because I purchased this little Headspace app. So just over 2 years ago, I was going through some really interesting times in my life. I had reached a point in kind of my professional and athletic and all these pieces culminating in this point in my life where I had kind of stopped learning. I had gotten to a level of big, strong, and fast that had started to cause a lot of injuries, dealing with a lot of pain. I didn't really know where I was going to be going. This lovely lady sitting to my right here had just published her book or was in the middle of writing her book and talking about dealing with a lot of adversity and growing out of that adversity. And it really started to resonate with me. I was dealing with, I have some junky issues in my body, like bad ankles. It's like a tic-tac-toe board that runs up my body, going to my right knee, my left hip, my right glute, like shoulders suck, all these pieces because I had trained so hard to be big, strong, and fast my whole life. And really gotten to this point where I was looking for, like, what is the next thing that I love training, I love working out, I love being in gyms, but how do I do this for the rest of my life, and how do I continue to grow and educate myself on like the best ways to do these things? And started talking with Dr. Theresa, and she advised me to go down to the beach and learn how to breathe a little bit and slow down. And what it has really led to is this idea of like a yin strength training program. I've kind of spent the last 2 years really diving into how I can get people to go slower, how I can go slower myself, how do I incorporate more breath work into my training. And what it's culminated in is me meeting a lot of people that are going through a lot of the same issues. A lot of people dealing with low back pain, clearly. That's basically like saying you're an American. But a lot of people that are looking for a better answer or a different answer when it comes to, I still want to be active, I still want to train, I still want to work out, I still want to be in the gym and do all these things, but I need to find the next piece, that next level. And really that's what the Low Back Fix is it's a yin strength training program. We incorporate the breath all the time. Every day starts out with some sort of breath work. We're taking this like yoga approach of mindfulness and movement practice and combining it with the strength training world. And it's really the culmination of the last 2 years of my search for what I've been looking for, and the creation of this idea of how do we progress movement, starting with a baseline and progressing things along. And I've really enjoyed this process. It's really opened my eyes, like this yin and the yang need to be balanced. And I was so good at being big, strong, and fast and grinding on barbells all day long. And I feel like over the last 2 years, I've just opened this like wedge in my life where I've learned something new, and it's not something that I have to force myself to do, but it's something that pulls me in a direction. And I'm able to create this brain-body balance piece and understanding movement and cultivating more of a movement practice based on health and longevity and ways that I can do this stuff forever. I know that if you haven't checked out the book Warrior, you should do that. But I know that you came across this even before I did, because I learned from you. So what kind of is a little bit of the background and the story that accompanies how you found breathwork?
So how I found breathwork was through a biofeedback therapist that I was seeing, named Jim Cahill. His website is mediciniemind.com. I still use him as a resource, but I'd done in my day, if you guys ever do read my book, you'll hear kind of the mental health history. And mental health there's no stigma behind it for me, but in our country there is. Many Americans, I think 1 in 4, have anxiety or depression issues. So I was battling those two things and done a bunch of talk therapy, but really wasn't making huge progress in my level to cope during my days. And granted, nobody would know that, because doing well in business, doing well in my practice, doing well in training, you know, I'm good at hiding things. I was good at hiding things. And so one of my colleagues from the Marine Corps recommended this biofeedback therapist, because she's like, hey, I've done a lot of talk therapy too. She struggled with PTSD. And yet this guy, this practice, he's going to teach you how to relax, not talk about all the things in your life and all the problems, but teach you how to relax. Because to be honest, and the more I've read, problems always exist. It's how you handle them. How is what matters. We all have things going on in our families. We all have things going on in our work. We all have stressful times. But it's how you handle those stressful times, because they're never going to end. So the biofeedback therapist taught me meditation, and it was awesome. I found I was a little skeptical at first, because I'm like, well, my mind doesn't shut off. Like, how am I supposed to do this? Like, my mind is not going to shut off. Good luck. But over time it did, and I got better and better at it. And what I found was, it wasn't overnight. What I found was that during the day I felt calmer. My problems, stresses didn't go away, they got lessened. My ability to handle them got better. And my mind became clearer on how to make better decisions on what I was going to do in my day, how to plan my day, what kind of work I wanted to do. And to be honest, it is what led me to learning even more about myself than I had before. I learned, hey, I am highly introverted. My work is completely extroverted. I'm always out there. I need time and space to myself, and I wasn't giving myself that. I learned that the kind of work I want to do is actually more hands-off work. I want to be more of an educator, so I can travel around working with the masses versus the one-on-one all the time. But it caused me to slow down and be more contemplative and introspective on myself. And I'm very thankful for that. And now, so Anders and I made this decision to come out here because having a newborn, he's 10 weeks old, I'd stopped doing my breath work each day. There's a different time schedule that I have now with him, and it's an adjustment in my life, and I need to reset because I know how therapeutic it is for me. And just yesterday, I did breath work while I was breastfeeding with him, put him on my chest, heart to heart, fell asleep right away. And I now can enjoy time with my son more. I'm more in the present with him when I'm doing breath work. So it's okay, even if you are a maniac and awesome at doing breath work and meditation, you still need resets from time to time.
Yeah. So a couple, just to keep this thing simple, this is the first time we've ever logged on and done this, and in all honesty, it's a really interesting thing to kind of present this to the world, and the very first time I've ever led one of these, or you have ever led one of these. But it's a much simpler process than I think a lot of people buy into. Like, the word meditation by itself is like, oh my God, that could range from like us sitting in a park hanging out and having a calm morning to like some Buddhist monk that has committed his life to not talking and just, you know, thinking about what one-handed claps sound like. There's no way, there's no right or wrong to this. The only thing that matters is if you're able to sit for a second, work on breathing slowly, and you want to develop the skill of watching your own brain. I think that that's one of the biggest things that I've learned is I can't control the thoughts that go on in my brain, but what happens is when you slow down, you're able to recognize the patterns and the loops that your brain runs through. And if you attach yourself to those stories that you're constantly telling yourself, like we run a business, we're in a 1-year-old startup right now. There's a baby sitting right next to us. In that 1 year, she was pregnant for 9 months of that year. Then we had a baby. Then we had to get back to work. Then we have to figure out how work's going to work with a new baby. Like all of these things. And if we attach ourselves to the stories that we tell ourselves and that are constantly in a loop in our brain, that sort of starts to become your reality. And when we start to get back down to this very baseline approach of, I'm here, there's nothing really going on in life, I'm just here breathing, and you're as present as you can possibly be, you start to realize that all of those things that you're attaching yourself to are just stories, and you can change the story in your brain. But one of the best skills you can do is start to just learn how to watch your brain work. So one of the most basic techniques, I kind of like to start this thing off with 5 big deep breaths, but not just regular breathing, because you see that gets into my shoulders. So we think breathing in through our nose, into our belly, and one of the simple ways to do this, you can put your left hand on your heart, your right hand's gonna be on your belly, and you can breathe into your belly through your nose, and that's gonna activate your diaphragm. And at the beginning of this, we wanna just start to practice that breath so it can be a little bit more aggressive, and you can breathe out through your mouth, and you can start to feel your abs engage. That's gonna help with our posture. You can see I'm sitting in this, what is this fun little position called here?
Indian style?
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Full lotus.
Full lotus.
At some point.
And,
not me.
and it's a really simple process. So we try and get 5 really big, deep breaths, right? So, and what that's going to do is that's instantly going to kick us into a parasympathetic state, right? So we can get into that rest and digest and down-regulate the body. The next piece that I like to kind of flow into nice and casually is just counting some box breathing. So 4 to 5 seconds in through your nose, hold for 4 to 5 seconds, and then breathe out 4 to 5 seconds. So we're going to go 5 rounds of those big inhales and exhales. Then we're going to go 5 rounds of the box breathing. So it's 5 seconds in, hold 5 seconds, 5 seconds out, hold 5 seconds, 5 rounds of that. And then we're just gonna settle in, and you're just gonna start to watch your brain move. And the biggest piece of this that I enjoy, one, we're watching our brain move, but as soon as you get wrapped up in that story, you're not doing anything wrong. All you wanna do is just start to come back to the breath and start to recognize the pattern of it. So there's no right or wrong. Don't attach yourself to the story, and we're just gonna go through a little flow here. So 5 big breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth, 5 rounds of box breathing. So 5 seconds in, hold 5 seconds, 5 seconds out, hold 5 seconds 5 times. And then we're gonna go for just 10 minutes and hang out and try and work on some posture, keep an upright chest, breathing into that belly. Watch your brain move for a little bit. You ready to do this?
Yes.
You wanna set your clock?
Yes.
So we're going 10 minutes and it's gonna be super fun. I can't believe that we're running our first session just live here on the internets.
Magnus is already asleep.
If you join us at home, please enjoy watching the madness of your brain and learning how to down-regulate. Ready? So 5 big breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. Box breathing, 5 rounds, 5 seconds in, 5 second hold, 5 seconds out, 5 second hold, and then we're just gonna flow into some normal belly breathing. You ready?
Yes.
In the most intense way possible. 3, 2, 1, go. doing over there, Magnus? Magnus crushed it.
He's asleep.
That was our fun 10-minute alarm here. What's up, Neil? Thanks for hanging out, bud. Juliana. Yeah.
Jordan.
If you can't really tell, Jordan Costa, what's up, bud? Just in quick 10 minutes there, I think all of us are able to just kind of like take a deep breath and change perspective a little bit of what we actually need to do today, because it's pretty sweet. Trees are a little brighter, air's a little crisper, and now we're in a better mindset to attack whatever it is today, instead of just riding high on coffee and just bull rushing the day.
Yeah, my brain feels a lot clearer. Just like, so a lot of athletes I work with who have TBI use this alpha wave machine to help kind of clear up fogginess, so to speak, which I honestly don't understand too much of that. However, when you wake up and you're kind of in this get to work quickly, stressed out state, drink coffee, you do feel foggy.
Yeah.
And I feel a lot more clear.
Thank you guys for hanging out. I think we're gonna start doing this a little bit more often. One, it keeps us accountable to each other. We have the best breather in the house over here, Magnus. The park's beautiful, and
I'm gonna show a picture of him.
Yeah,
He's
look
asleep.
at him.
If you guys
Look at that face.
watch his
Crushing
belly, you can see his belly. He pushes his belly out as he breathes in. That's good belly breathing.
Yeah, we're going to have a little, there's a link to an ebook on here. This really is the basic premise of our program, the Low Back Fix. We work with a lot of people that are dealing with living in a lot of pain, and this pain is not just a physical. A lot of times the pain in your low back is the physical manifestation of a lot of stress that we put on ourselves, and this is hands down one of the best ways that we can start to downregulate, start to learn about the stresses that we put on ourselves, how we attach ourselves to these stories, and it's fun. So thanks for hanging out with us. It's weird being on live after you just do that whole process and flush all that stuff out of your body. So
Feels good.
thanks for hanging out with us, and we'll see you guys soon.